Well, howdy there, folks. I'm mighty glad you can join me today on our first official Dio Days with Duarte. That's me, your favorite artist with the fro, down below. We're going to paint a little something different, something with a bit of a rusty charm. You see, today we're going to paint an old, weather-beaten van. Not just any van, but a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle van. One that will pair flawlessly with your favorite Mezco Turtles. Imagine this van seeing more action than a Papa John's pizza delivery guy on a Super Bowl Sunday. Here's a list of some things you'll need. Some brushes. You'll need a dry brush, a flat brush, a small flat brush, more flat brushes, angled brushes, another dry brush, cause what the hell. You'll need a sharp pointy brush too for all those detailed works. Then of course get you that scuff pad. Automotive scuff is my favorite. And now you'll need colors. Black, like the color of my soul. Gray, cause it's not quite black, but it helps with highlights. Here comes the money! Money green. Some gunmetal. Some yeller like the sun. That vintage vinegar brown, like the color of your balsamic vinaigrette when you forget it in the back of the pantry. Crispy bacon bronze. And a dark brown, your favorite dark brown. Here you want to grab your favorite Phillips head screwdriver and remove all the visible hardware to make the base coat application easier with part separations. You also want to keep your favorite turtle on hand to help with visualizing the final product and test fitment as you go. I find that shifting the seat back about 18mm gives you the perfect clearance for the turtles without sacrificing much. And I do make a cool texturized floorboard to hide all the ugly mold lines that can be purchased on my website. For those of you who did pre-order the van, it does come with it, and they do come with some awesome brake and gas pedals. Also, don't try to take the side door off the spring, it's molded in there and it will break. So if you want to keep the cool swing door action, I don't recommend removing the side door. You've been warned. Here's where the scuff pad comes in handy. You want to scuff every single surface that you can. One of the questions I get often is, how do you know when it's done being scuffed? Pretty much two simple ways. One, if this isn't your first rodeo, then you know you're looking for a completely uniform, dull surface with no factory plastic shine left. Two, if this is your first time, I have a bulletproof plan lined up for you. Go from top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, left to right, right to left, angled 45 degrees up, angled 45 degrees down, and that will ensure that you've scuffed all surfaces in all directions. Don't stay on the same spot for too long because you can deform the plastic, especially under friction with automotive products. Time for some washes. I prefer to make my own because I can control the intensity of the pigments and it ends up being a lot cheaper, especially on bigger jobs like this. After the wash is fully dry, about 24 hours later, I start the first coat of dry brushing with the color I mix to match the factory plastic as close as possible, both the yellow and the green. While that dries, I grab a white Prismacolor pencil and I start blocking in the letters on the tires. We don't want perfect coverage, so it shows wear and tear like it did back in the early 90s. After you've gone and done as many coats of dry brushing as you want to get the desired look that you were going for, you grab a finer brush and you refine some of the spots. You want contrast between the high and low lights to really sell the dirt and grime. Remember to keep the highlights towards the tops, the edges, and that dirt and filth always travel to the bottom.
Take your dark wash and apply it pretty heavy on the tires and spin them out to simulate the tire having driven through all the dumpster juices it could find. After having finished the paint, you want to start blocking off all the accessories with a base coat of black, especially if you intend to paint them a different color. I really wanted to show the wear and tear on mine, so I made sure the steel steps were rusted and beat up real good. I also eliminated the foot pin for a more realistic look. After the decals have been applied, for the headlights, taillights, and all the extra lights, you want to repaint the complete frame around them in the matte black so it adds depth to the overall look. After having taped off the front tire to bumper to keep paint from getting in the grooves, I do a quick highlight of gray on the top edges of all the metal parts of the bumper. I wanted this to look like an older bull bar that has seen the sun one too many times. When it comes to paint and rust, it's like a Reese's cup. There's no wrong way to do it. There's a plethora of ways to do it that take really long, and some that are a lot simpler. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to show you my method that's tried and true for the quickest rust effect. I start with the darkest brown, and I apply it where there would be weld joints, or tab joints. Those are likely to rust out first from real-world experience. After that's dry, I apply a burnt orange over the top of it, but a lot less, almost as if the color inside the lines of the previous color. You want the darkest color to show. You can repeat this technique as many times as you want to get the desired look, and then even use some orange or brown washes with an even thinner brush to do some drips of rust. For the metal parts, I do light coats of dry brushing the gunmetal color of your choice. Careful not to cover all the cracks and crevices. You want that black to pop out underneath. Repeat this step until you get the metal finish that you're looking for. Then I take some watered down bone color to do the water sun dried fade look on the grill. I apply decals and let it dry. After the wash is dried on our tires, I'll go in with a lighter, more silver color and highlight certain edges to accentuate the rim design and make the details like the lug nuts pop. I didn't have to cut the headrest part of the seat, but I wanted to do it just because I preferred the look. Now I get to take these cotton balls and spread them all over my seats.
Pause, yeah.
Spread the cotton evenly and lightly, press it up against the glue. You don't want it to be super snug to the plastic. Don't worry about the excess as we cut that off as we go.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die!
Depending where you're from, you call it a wife beater.
What the hell?
Or a tank top. And that's perfect material to get the ribbed seat look I was going for, and it was free. After they were wrapped and glued, I decided to cut them in various areas and have the cotton stick out. I mixed an orangish yellow color to match the old brittle sponges from back in the day, and that's the color that we went with. Here's a good spot to reuse the wash we made for the front grille on the seats, especially in the areas where the padding would be more worn down. I made a template for the back seats and then I cut the plate out of wood. I stained it with my stain of choice. did the same thing with the rear deck plate and matched it to the seats. I then added some wear and tear right where the, yep, you guessed it, turtle cycle would go, now available on the website. For those of you who pre-ordered the van, hit me up for a special coupon code. After everything fit nice and snug and hit all the mold lines, I started to do the lighter silver highlights on all the metal parts and reassembling back the truck. Painted all the window moldings with the matte black to simulate the rubber. I even made scale diamond plate to cover the inside of the rear tailgate. We had to beef it up to make sure it could handle the turtle cycle. I noticed how they made the rear view mirrors with these openings in them like they had lenses, but they didn't come with lenses, so I decided to make my own. Now we repeat the same rust technique on all the other accessories to match the rest of the truck's aesthetic. Here you can see me use the same rust technique for the roof while adding an even brighter yellow color to simulate the paint peel and the sun faded mix with the rust effect. I drew in a door line for the driver's side door and I added rust all over the truck. The rust part is the part where you really make it your own. There's no such thing as too little or too much when it comes to rusting a vehicle. I appreciate you all for taking the time to watch my little TMNT Mezco style truck tutorial. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see me do next.